Right then, so welcome to our Hong Kong tips video. It's going to be a short one because we've only been here for a few days, but we thought it would be useful to share the things that we've learned in the short time that we've been here.
Short and sweet, not one of those 753 top tips for visiting somewhere.
Anyway, the first tip.
First, number one tip is...
Make sure you bring Hong Kong dollars. Now, I know that sounds mad that bring the local currency, but we've learnt from travelling around Asia that often you don't need the local currency because everything is easy to do on card and everything is easy to do with American dollars. Not so in Hong Kong if you want to have the authentic experience and if you want to go to the local restaurants and go to the hawker stores and all that type of thing. So that is really, really important, and something we didn't do, which we'll go on to in a moment and tell you about this fantastic restaurant, which is another tip of ours. We've travelled extensively and we felt very, very stupid not knowing this, didn't we? However, we found this lovely restaurant, which is our second tip, called...
Just to point out, we end up looking stupid, so you don't have to.
Exactly that. So our second tip is we've been staying at the Harbour Grand Hong Kong Hotel, which is right on Oil Street and not far from Wang On Road. Yes, that is its name.
What's not to love?
And make sure you do check out our review about that. Every day we'd be walking past and we see this restaurant that had queues of people outside and we were like, we've got to go in there. But every day we were heading off to do some other things which we'll explain to you shortly. And on our last day, we came past it and there was nobody there, wasn't there? So we thought, right, let's go in. We looked on the window and it looked like you could pay with the card. So we thought, actually, that's fine, no problem at all. And when we got inside, it was a proper, authentic Hong Kong restaurant, busy, vibrant, full of local people, lots of noise, lots of bustle. And as soon as we looked around and see the food on the table, we were like, oh my God, this is a hit. As you can see from the menu here, it's obviously all in Hong Kong language. Hongkonese.
I think Chinese is Chinese is the word that Carol's looking for.
Exactly.
But it's obviously got an English translation underneath. Now there is some strange stuff, and then there's some more mainstream stuff. And if you're really, really worried about immersing yourself completely, you can even get a club sandwich or a burger.
You can.
So it's not a massive issue. But I just to be in there and sat in these little booths, there must have been about 7 waiters and waitresses all buzzing around all the time.
Yeah.
And then you look behind and you can see into the kitchen, and that's just going like 9,000 to the dozen as well. It's like diff duff, it's all going on.
It was very quiet when we walked in, but it soon
within
Soon
minutes.
busied up.
And luckily for us, we couldn't have timed it better because there was 2 girls sat on a table opposite us, and they had what looked like an absolute fabulous meal, 2 completely different dishes. So when our waitress, you could tell that when we come in, obviously they knew that we weren't Chinese, which is for obvious reasons. But you could see that there was the youngest waitress in there, and when it was time to be served, they all sort of looked at her and was like, yeah, you can, because you can speak to them. Oh. And she came over and we just said, oh, this is a weird thing, but what's that there?
Yeah.
And then she said, oh, that's that and that's that. I said, okay, well, that's what we're having then, and we'll have it with 2 Diet Cokes.
Exactly.
And what we ended up having was we had a pork chop katsu curry.
With potato.
Which had potato
and
in the curry
rice.
sauce with boiled rice. And we had barbecue pork with honey, rice and scallions, which is to you and me, or if you're English, is spring onions.
Yes.
What amazed us was we ordered it and it couldn't have been 2 minutes.
Yeah, and
2 minutes at the most, and it was there. And it was hot and it was fresh.
And it was absolutely delicious.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was. And it was only 430 Hong Kong dollars, which equates really to about £4.30. And we're thinking, oh my God, this is mad.
It was 43 Hong Kong dollars. 430 Hong Kong dollars would have been quite expensive. That would have been £43.
Oh, yeah.
It was 43 Hong Kong dollars per dish. And then with the Diet Cokes thrown in as well, it came to a tiny bit under 100 Hong Kong dollars, and it's about 10 Hong Kong dollars to the pound
at this time,
as at the time of going to press. So it was a tenner. So I go to the counter, And they put a little ticket on your table when they bring your food out, and then you take that to a little desk in the corner. And there was nobody there. Great, lovely. So in there, man comes in. Oh, are you paying? Oh, pay by card. Oh no, we don't take card. And it's like, we take cash or we take electronic transfer. Now I'm assuming it's like an Apple Pay type thing,
an Asian version,
but it wasn't Apple Pay.
No.
And then these two girls came up behind me who we'd basically copied their food. She paid on a pointed her phone and was paid and was gone. And then the guy looked at me and I'm sort of like, well, I haven't got any money. And
we had American dollars.
We had American dollars and we had some
pennies.
English pounds, but we didn't have any Hong Kong dollars. He said, oh, you just wait there a moment. And then the man who was next in the queue came up and he looked at me and he looked at the man behind the counter and he said, I'll just pay for that. And complete stranger, and he paid for our meal.
Yeah.
Which I thought was just absolutely made our day. Not because of the financial side of it, but what a lovely gesture. We go outside and Carol's waiting outside. She's got no idea what's going on. She just sees me in a panic inside, and I
was just meant to walk back in.
Well, no, she wasn't. She was going to leg it. I could see. She'd done her handbag up properly. She was going to run. So I come out with this chap. I shook his hand. Thanks ever so much. And Carol said, "Look, we got English
So I said,
money.
here's the 20 American dollars, or 30, or whatever you want." He said, no. He said, it's fine. He said, welcome to Hong Kong. It's lovely that you're here. I just want you to go out and enjoy Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And I said, really, I really want to pay our way. But he wouldn't have it, would he?
No.
And so thank you, whoever you were. I wish I'd asked him to take his photo and got his name, because it just shows that there's so many kind people out there. And I know people will be watching this video saying, well, you should know better. But yes.
But that's why we're doing this video.
We make mistakes along the way, and that's how we are.
Yeah, so you all know better.
Yeah, so hopefully you've learned from that. But get some Hong Kong dollars and get yourself to Angus. Be aware that it opens at 6 a.m. and closes at 6 p.m. So it's not an evening thing. So make sure you get over to Oil Street, to that area, by Causeway Market, and you will find it. And it was just such a great experience. It's a definite must-do. Now, as we were here for 3 sort of full days, 4 nights, but 3 days, we wanted to make the most of our time, so it was our first time to Hong Kong. And we got lots of tips about getting the metro, getting an Oyster card, getting all these different things. But we decided to, as we've done in lots of other cities, is go and find the big bus, because we wanted to see as much of Hong Kong in a short space of time, and we wanted commentary. We love the thing about a big bus is that it educates you as you're going along, which you don't get when you're self-exploring with the metro, etc, etc. And we thought if we do 2 days on the big bus, then that leaves us a day then to go on the metro to go back to the places that we wanted to see. So we went and found the big bus company, which was easy to find at Central Market. And we spoke to the lovely guys there and bought a 48-hour ticket, which isn't cheap. It worked at like £75 a person.
With a bit of, depending on what card you pay on, you're going to get a bit of charges and what have you. And with the charges on our card, it was £78 a person.
Okay.
But somewhere between £75 and £80 a person at this moment in time. Now, what you get for that, like Carol said, you get 48 hours. You get 2 ferry crossings per person per day, which we'll go into obviously. The 48-hour ticket covers you. There's 3 routes. There's 2 routes on Hong Kong Island, and there's 1 route on Kowloon.
Now, the first route we did was Stanley route. It's called the Stanley Tour. It's the green route, and that takes you all around the periphery of Hong Kong Island. And we wanted to get an overview, because we'd heard that there was... Everyone thinks of Hong Kong as this high-rise buildings and just mad and crazy world, but we heard there's lots of green space and there's lots of beautiful beaches too. And Stanley Tour was perfect to see that. It took us right down the bottom to Stanley and to Reject Place. What was it called?
It's called Repulse Beach. Repulse.
That's it.
Repulse.
It's called Repulse Beach, which you think, oh my god, but it's absolutely beautiful. Where you pass beautiful reservoirs, you've seen obviously all the greenery, lots of forest. Hong Kong, apparently residents in Hong Kong love to hike, and they hike all around the island. So it was fabulous to see, wasn't it?
Really cool. You got to see some proper rooty-tooty places where, like you go past the golf club, that it's £50,000 per year. Well, no, it's a £50,000 initial joining fee, and then it's £3,000 a month.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
wealth
of wealth on the island, which I'm sure you would have already known that anyway. But it was just over 2 hours, and I have to say the time flew past.
But pocketed around that, though, the wealth and that, is it brings you back into the nitty-gritty of Hong Kong Island.
Totally.
And you see, it's such a diverse place. We've been really pleasantly surprised against really, spectacular skyscrapers. You'll get these, residential areas with washing hanging everywhere, and really gritty, earthy areas that are full of local markets, full of local shops, full of people getting on with their daily lives. Wet markets that are very interesting in Asia. Not good if you've got a weak stomach, because the things you see in there are a little bit, for us, a little bit upsetting, a little bit odd, but for people that live here, that's their way of life, and we have to respect that. We then did the red route, which is actually concentrated around the sort of business district and the shopping district. If you want to shop in Hong Kong, I have never seen so many shopping malls in my life.
You will.
It's just like shop till you drop.
Somebody told me, it was probably you, that it's got more shopping per capita than anywhere else.
I think it was on the tour they said
anywhere
that.
else in the world.
But also, if you want to then buy a fridge magnet or something, you can go to the little local markets. I think it's a city that's certainly got something for everything, as long as you've got Hong Kong dollars. And then over to Kowloon. The Star Ferry, actually, if you wanted to just go across, is very cheap. We worked it out to about 40p. So when you feel that the bus company are being very generous with their 4 tickets, you think actually that's a bit tight, because it isn't cheap. However, the Star Ferry is a great way to see, obviously, Hong Kong Island and Kowloon Island from the water. And it was just fab and so easy. Very, very slick getting on and off. Bit like what we experienced in Sydney.
Yeah. And don't worry if you miss the ferry, because there'll be another along in about 2 minutes. So then we did the blue route around Kowloon, and again was just mesmerised by the different buildings. They met shopping, Gucci, Bulgari, a lot of wealth there, but again a lot of poor areas too. We went for a walk around the Avenue of the Stars, which is right at the front of the Victoria Harbour, and it's all Asian stars, which weren't familiar to us. But that is a beautiful area, isn't it, with great views over Victoria Harbour and also towards the cruise terminal. And we spotted Celebrity Solstice has been in since we've been here too. So to sum up, Big Bus is definitely one of our top 3 tips for getting around Hong Kong and Kowloon, and just giving you a good sort of orientation of because you're looking and you're thinking, well, we want to come back here, or we don't want to come back here. It's that perfect sort of opportunity. Now, obviously, do bear in mind that if you're not familiar with the hop-on, hop-off bus, you don't have to stay on there for the duration, and there's at least, I think, is it 20-something stops between the 3 routes? There's about 20-odd stops. So you might think, well, actually, say you want to go back to wherever, Gucci, and that's at stop number 7, you can go all the way around and then stay on. Or you can get back on the next day because you've got your 48-hour
You can use
pass.
it as just a taxi to get from one place to the other.
So don't feel that once you're off, because you're not. You can get
as
on,
long as
get
it's
off.
within your 48 hours, you can do whatever you like.
You can hop on.
The only thing, they do finish at 5:30, so you need to get up in the morning if you want to make the most of it. Up in the morning, because they do a night bus, but that's an extra charge.
Cost. So I mean, getting up in the morning, I mean, as you all know, that's no issues at all for me.
So let's just touch on, if you don't decide to get the big bus, the ways that you can get around Hong Kong. And you can buy an Oyster card, which we were advised to do if you wanted to get around on the metro and on the local trams. The top tip we were given was that you don't ask for the tourist Oyster card, you ask for the regular Oyster card, because you don't then get a tax on top of it. We found the Metro easy to use. We didn't actually purchase the Oyster card because we went on and bought the big bus tickets. However, what you can do if you just want to go from one place to another, you just tap your card. Our regular cards worked well, and it's very cheap. It's about 50p a ride, isn't it?
We did.
Depending on how far you go, obviously.
We only did a couple of stops on that, and it was 51 pence.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's easy just to tap your card on, but if you're coming to Hong Kong and you're thinking, I'm going to really make the most of the metro system, and you're going to use it extensively, then it's definitely worth purchasing the non-tourist Oyster card.
Exactly that. But walking as well, we walk from our hotel, and it's a very walkable city.
Yeah.
So that's our tips about Hong Kong. And let us know what your top tips are about Hong Kong in the comments. We've had a fabulous few days here, and we'll definitely be coming back.
And tell us, if you do come to Hong Kong and you use some of our tips, were they useful or were they a load of rubbish? We don't mind. Put your comments down there. We'll take the good and the bad.
Anything to add, Pauline?
Nothing at all is what she said. Thanks for watching.
Yes. Now go and watch more of our videos here.